We'd be looking at school leavers here. We wouldn't be... I mean, I think it's important to support everyone into the world of work, but this specific idea is about young people who are coming out of school who would otherwise not participate in education or employment. Again, work would need to be done in terms of identifying who they are, how many people they are, what sort of employers should be involved in this. But this is very much about giving people that first step onto the ladder of work.
What sort of age range? Are we talking 16 to 20, 16 to 24,
something like that. I mean, it would be around the school leaving age, and the precise school leaving age does hover between 16 or 18, depending on individual circumstances. We would be looking at that age range, yeah.
So have you got any idea how much it would cost to do this? If you were, I mean, there are councils who are subsidising employers to take people on. Is that something that how you would see this working?
It's possible. I think the first thing we need to do is to work with employers to see what their offer would be. This is something that may very well cost money, but when we talk about whose money, well, I mean, it's not just the council that's responsible for young people, it's also the education system, and it's possible that we could do something that works very closely with local colleges and schools on this. There are a number of areas where funding could come from, but I would mention also the devolution of the skills agenda to Greater Manchester, which I think is very, very important here. So again, it could cost the council money, but let's just also think about the amount of money that the council spends on young people who don't carry on their education, who don't go into employment, and who end up needing support from the council anyway, and from social services specifically. That, I would think, would cost a lot more money to the taxpayer than having people in a scheme of this nature. So again, my hope would be that overall it would save money whilst giving people a better future.
Yeah, I mean, because have you got any idea how much investment it would cost? How much it would cost to guarantee these placements? Have you got any sort of concept at all?
No, again, we haven't done the work in terms of how much it would cost.
Because I mean, at the start of the interview, I said, "It's a great manifesto. Is it costed?" And you said yes.
Yeah, it's costed in that we would not. The whole idea behind this is that it would not end up costing the council more money than what it spends.
Except you don't know how much any of it's going to cost. So how can you say that?
Well, it's a fair point, but I think that we want to work as much as possible with schools, colleges and employers. So we would want to minimise the cost to the council. And we would need to do some work in terms of looking at how much this would nevertheless cost the council for these individuals that would be suitable for this compared to what the current costs are. Now, if it ends up that those costs would be greater and the council would not be able to recoup it in the long term, or the education costs would not be able to be recouped, we would have to try a different mechanism or a different way of doing this.